everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul, which sometimes I buy books but I don't actually do like a proper haul for them. I always think about doing shorts but they never, I don't know, like either can't be bothered, but also I never think they look as good as other people's shorts, and I know I just gotta practice and it'll be fine, so maybe I'll try and do that some more. Anyways, today was my local book fair and I went and had a great time. I don't necessarily need more books. I have still quite a substantial to be read pile, but I wanted to go for fun. I am probably going to be doing a video soon talking about 2 years on from a zero TBR, and I'm going to stop using that zero TBR tagline soon, but I just find it interesting the way that things have evolved, and I think pretty much I have come into my own with how I want my TBR and book buying to be. So that kind of video topic is going to stop soon, but I will do one more video about it. Now, to get into the books that I hauled, I'm really excited because I had a really great time. Daniel came with Miles and they just pretty much just like wandered around because Daniel doesn't read novels. We also got 10 free kids books for Miles and had a lot of fun, and let's get into the books that I got. So the first one, I actually saw this one right at the end and I'm really stoked, which is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the first book in the Raven cycle, and even though I'm pretty sure it's YA, so it's not a series or a genre that I necessarily go and pick up unless I've heard that it's really good. I haven't really went out and bought any of those in the last few years, but I've always heard about The Raven Boys for years. I read the Shiver series by Maggie Stiefvater, and I've read the first book in the Shivers series. I think I may have unhauled it because I never read the rest of the series, but I've always found the Raven Boys I don't even know necessarily what they're about, but these ones were really popular and I've always wanted to read them just because everybody else really loved them and they sounded interesting, or they looked interesting to me since I know nothing about them at all. It's in this gorgeous hardcover that you can tell has been read, but it actually looks like it's in a pretty good edition. Now, do we have any? Oh yeah, that's cool. You probably can't see it. See, there's a little pattern in there, and then so not super nice, but I think probably for its time it's a nice nakedness on the hardcover. But yeah, so that's exciting. I'm going to try not to be as super detailed with everything as I was then. Sometimes I feel like I need to say more when I don't really need to. So the first non-fiction that I picked up is The Dinosaur Hunters by Deborah Cadbury, which is a true story of scientific rivalry and the discovery of the prehistoric world. I love the book fair for picking up cheap non-fictions. I feel like it's a really good way for me to start to further delve a little bit into non-fiction. I still would call myself a beginner of non-fiction, and I like that I can purchase these really cheaply and start to see what my tastes are a little bit without feeling like I've wasted $30 if I didn't enjoy the book. So I'm really excited for this one. The next one I got is a thriller, which is actually the only thing that I was hoping to get, and I only got one of them, but that's really cool, which is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I only heard about this one because it became a really famous, it's a bestseller thriller, and it became a movie, so I'm curious to see what it's like. And after reading the thriller that I have also got to talk about in my wrap-up, I don't know if I've posted my wrap-up or not, see down in the description to see, but I'm hoping to keep another thriller. I don't want to say always, but generally I want to read a few more thrillers that I have been as a palette cleanser, something fun to do. And then I also got The Fall of Giants by Ken Folett. So I read Ken Follett's Kingsbridge series, the Pillar of the Earth series, which I think is maybe his most well-known one, possibly. It's the only one that I've ever read of his, so I'm curious to see. It's such a beast, but this is actually the next series of his that I was wanting to try, and I have read a tiny little bit on ebook and I wasn't super into it, but sometimes if I'm not dedicating a lot of time to a book, I can struggle to get into it. So hopefully with paperback, and again purchased really cheaply, I will enjoy this. But I'm a bit iffy on Ken Folett, so I feel like this is going to be the last one that I'm going to try of him to see whether I want to continue reading him as an author or not, because I read Pillars of the Earth, loved it, read World Without End, loved it even more, read A Column of Fire and it was meh, and then read the final one in that series that this is the series that I'm talking about, the Kingsbridge one, The Evening and the Morning, and it was better than A Column of Fire but still not as great. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But I think this one was probably published before the last two in the Kingsbridge series, so hopefully it will be like his previous writing style, which for me is a lot closer to the characters than the other two books that he published that I didn't enjoy, so hopefully. And then I picked up a Dan Brown, The Lost Symbol. My history with Dan Brown as an author is that I've read Angels and Demons. I feel like I was a bit too young to really appreciate Angels and Demons. I still got through it, but also in my late teens I had this weird thing where I would keep reading books and I would never DNF them. So I don't know whether it was one that I forced myself to read like 50 pages a day to get it done. Therefore, now that I'm a bit older, I want to give Dan Brown another go and see again whether it could be another palette cleanser as well between all the other fantasy that I read. And I didn't want to pick up the Da Vinci Code because I've had that on my shelf before and I unhauled it. So this one was in like a gorgeous, massive, big edition, which will be easy to read. And it's called The Lost Symbol. So I've never heard of it before. I'm keen to hopefully see how it goes, but it doesn't have the same ickiness in my head that the Da Vinci Code had. I really just unhauled it because I didn't think that I was ready for Dan Brown. Maybe I am now, maybe I'm not, we'll see. But this one's a fresh, clean story that hopefully I'm going to enjoy. Two Sookie Stackhouses, Southern Vampire Mysteries or True Blood, whichever one you like to call them. I've read both of them, sadly, because I would have loved to have picked up the next Sookie Stackhouse, but they're both in the editions that I like to collect but I don't have. So some of them have the TV show versions on them. They're still the same height, the TV show ones, so it's not a total cardinal sin. But cardinal sin, lol, us book nerds, hey. But when I saw these, I just went, yes, I would really like the editions, so we're gonna chuck them in as well. They're not gonna be adding to my TBR, which is cool. And I also don't believe I annotated any of those ones because I read them so long ago, so it shouldn't matter at all, just to do a quick swapsies. And the final one to talk about is Falling Leaves by, Adeline Yen May. Which I think is she the one that writes Chinese Cinderella? Their tagline is this true story of an unwanted Chinese daughter. So this one is a memoir. This one calls it an autobiography, so maybe it is. I'm still a bit like iffy on what's what between those, but it's the true story. So I'm pretty excited to read this one as well. It'll be a good way to get some more non-fiction into my palette, and then I also find them interesting. I hauled something recently too, but it's out there and it's One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'll leave the book in here. I'm actually disappointed that it came in the wrong cover that I wanted, and I'm thinking now to get the right cover, it seems like I need to look at which country produced that particular cover and then purchase it from a store over there. I feel like that might be the way to get the right edition, but anyways, does anyone have any thoughts on that? I'm gonna go, my battery is gonna die, and I also wanted this to be a really quick haul too. I didn't want to talk too much about stuff, but still getting back into the swing of filming because I haven't filmed a sit down video in ages. Thank you guys so much for watching my channel. Did any of these interest you guys at all? Is there any that I should read straight away? Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you would like to. If you reach the end of this video and you don't know what to comment, please comment like a book emoji. That'd be super cool, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!